Hi, welcome back to another video about FilmLab, the app for digitizing film. We just released FilmLab 3.5 in beta. Let's take a look at some of the new features. Here I have some photos I took last summer at Lake Chorksten. Sorry, my Polish pronunciation is not that good. I think they might also call it Lake Chorsztyńskie. My Polish suffixes are even worse than my pronunciation. But it's a beautiful spot in southern Poland. Unfortunately, I learned a hard lesson about taking negative film on international trips. My negatives went through a bunch of X-ray scanners in the course of traveling internationally. And I noticed afterwards that a lot of my film lost detail. It seemed underexposed and fogged. But let's convert in FilmLab and see what we've got. So I select all and I press the batch process button. And here I can select the light source and film stock that I'm using for these images. It's important in FilmLab to get the best results to select the actual light source and the actual film stock you're using. That's what helps FilmLab's color conversion engine be more accurate. And in this release, we've added a bunch more profiles to both light sources and film stocks. You can see we now have support for CineStill Spectracolor light sources, as well as the Jack W01 scan light, which is a popular do-it-yourself light source that people are using. And in film stocks, we've greatly increased the number of film stocks we support. I think we had 20-something previously, and now we have 60 in the new FilmLab release. So I can type in the one that I'm using, which in this case was Fuji color C200. And then the other new feature here in our batch processing option is that you can now select a falloff correction image. So falloff correction is a feature we have in FilmLab that helps you correct for irregularities in your light source or vignetting in your scanning lens. And the easiest way to do that is to just take a photo of your light source and then let FilmLab use it to create an automatic calibration profile. So I'll show you the photo that I took of the light source. As I'm scanning, what I do is when I get to the end of the roll and I've finished the last image, I just take a photo of my light source through the film holder with no film going through it. And the key is when you take a picture of your light source, turn down the exposure a little bit so that you're not overexposing and washing out the detail. And of course, you want to do that by adjusting shutter speed, not by adjusting aperture, because whatever vignetting is there, we want to be able to see in the picture. So I select this photo of my light source. FilmLab analyzes it and gives me a little preview of what it's seeing. So you can see in this particular light source, there's just a little bit of fall off going from right to left. This preview exaggerates it. It's not as much as is really there in real life, but it helps you to see that there is some differences in brightness. And I'll go ahead and apply that and let FilmLab do its thing with auto settings. So as you would have expected, because we went through the X-ray machine too many times with this film, it looks a little washed out, a little flat. Not as much color detail as I would have liked. Some of my images are underexposed, but overall it's salvageable. I'll still be able to have some nice photos from my trip. So let's take a look at one of these and check out the new features in FilmLab 3.5. And the first new thing I'll show you, something a lot of us have been waiting for, is undo and redo support. You can finally hit Control-Z or Command-Z in FilmLab and it will do the right thing. I can make a change, Command-Z, undo. That's really nice to have. Obviously, it's a basic quality of life feature and something that was on our roadmap for this year. We haven't completed our undo redo, so it doesn't work yet in batch operations. It only works in the editor, and it resets every time you go to a new image. So it's not going to bail you out of every situation. But as you're just working with an image and making edits, it's of course really nice to be able to undo and redo. While we're here, I'll show you some more new features of fall off correction. First, if I turn it off, you can see what a difference this is making. If you look at the top of the image up here, when I change to no fall off correction, it doesn't make a difference, but at the bottom, it does. So if you didn't have fall off correction, you'd be getting some washed out colors here at the bottom of our image because of an issue with my backlight not being completely even. Now that I have this, it fixes that problem. In cases that you don't have a photo of the backlight and want to do some fall off correction yourself to just correct for lens vignetting, we now have this vignette option, and I can manually create a vignette and set its properties. It's not really there for artistic purposes, but a lot of times when you're scanning, your scanning lens will have some vignettes, so this allows you to correct for that so you don't have bright looking corners on your film scan. I'll show you one more new feature, which is our new copy and paste options. If I hit Command-Shift-C or Control-Shift-C to copy, I get this new copy edits dialog. And what we realize is as we add more functionality to FilmLab, things like the new fall-off calibration, sometimes you want to be able to copy just parts of your edit. And now I can do that. So I could check none and just check fall off calibration if I wanted to copy that from one image to another, or I could just copy my adjustments. And another new feature is that when you copy exposure and color balance now, you can either copy them as absolute values, so the exact number you've chosen in the slider, or you can copy them relative to auto. So if I've edited one image and just made it a little brighter, and I want to just copy that fact that I want to make it slightly brighter than what the auto settings picked, I can now use that in the new copy and paste. I'll show you how one way that this might come in useful. Say that I'm in here working with my image, and one thing that a lot of times we might want to do is change how much of the film borders we show if we've done full border scans like this. And now I have a scan that includes film borders. Let me just tweak that a little bit. So if I wanted to go do that on every image in my roll, that would be kind of a slow, tedious process. But in this new version of FilmLab, I can choose what I want to copy, and I'm going to copy not position, not horizontal flip, not rotation, just size and aspect ratio. So that will keep each image cropped to the same spot. It'll just change the size and aspect ratio. So if I copy that and apply it, now all my images have a full border scan, and it was very easy and fast. So those are the main new features in FilmLab 3.5. There's also a bunch of bug fixes. I'll put the link for the release notes here so you can take a look at it on our website if you want to read the full release notes. If you have feedback, please let us know. We're always working to make FilmLab better, and we appreciate hearing from you. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.